children as young as, who knows, 6, 7 years old that are going through hell. And these women who've been pulled from their lives, just being able to help them in any way, but also being able to help the animals. That was just, it was just something internally in me that just said, it just clicked instantly. This is who I want to help.
Welcome to Old Guy Talks to Me, a podcast dedicated to helping guys create kick-ass lives for themselves and those that they love. Ladies, if you want to know what your guy is thinking, this podcast is for women too. Each week, a special guest helps you create that life you've imagined. We talk anti-aging medicine, personal growth, relationships and hot sex. Yeah, you hear me, getting laid more frequently. Other guy vices, and topics that many don't want to talk about but need to. Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to be old. Don't want to miss anything? Be sure to subscribe, share, rate, and review this podcast. And be sure to go to www.thestandard.academy/magazine and grab a free copy of our new digital magazine, The Standard Academy, where we talk about erogenous zones, growing hair back, and other things that will help you create that kick-ass life. Now get ready to listen up and share with friends.
This is Orsh, the official old guy at oldguytalkstome.com, a podcast well dedicated to helping guys create kick-ass lives for themselves and those that they love. That's right, folks, those that they love. And be sure to check out my program at the Standard.Academy and get our free digital magazine. That's right, get our free digital magazine. So today we have as our guest Kim Slaughter, who's the founder of Together Saving Paws, which is a 501c3 whose mission is to provide tactical vests for canines in law enforcement and the canines who sniff out electronic storage devices with Operation Underground Railroad, along with rescuing animals and help getting them trained to become emotional support animals for survivors of human trafficking. And we just had actually an interview with Lena Walters, posted about human trafficking, and she's very much involved in it. And she, Las Vegas, which is where I'm based and where Lena is from, is actually one of the epicenters of sex trafficking, which is unfortunate, but it's the reality of things are. So ever since Kim was a young girl, she had a passion to help animals. She has always wanted to do something bigger on a larger scale. So that is what prompted her to start Together Saving Paws. TSP officially became a nonprofit in 2021 and is looking to become one of the go-to nonprofits for animals. So welcome, Kim. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. So one of the questions I always start off with all my guests is, actually not all of them, but when I remember, what is the most important thing you've done today?
As far as with Together Saving Paws, or just in life in general?
What is the most important thing you've done today?
I would probably have to say investing in real estate.
Okay. All right. Yes. What'd you do? Did you buy a house?
We've done it all. So I'm actually a licensed real estate professional, a realtor in Phoenix, Arizona, and been doing that since 2000, but started investing in 99 along with my husband. So we've done it all. We've done flips, we've done wraps, we've done subject twos, we've done it all. But right now we're focusing on cash flow and buy and hold. So we bought, enough to be able to supply that cash flow. But then also I still love to do what I do, and that's helping, buyers and sellers in traditional real estate. And the 501c3 doesn't pay my bills, but the real estate does. So
no, and so that is true. So wow. So you've been on the wild ride. Everything went crazy in early 2000s, and then when the brakes got hit in Phoenix, which I know they did in the actually 2007. Everybody says 2008, but actually it started 2007. Because we had a property that we were stuck with and ended up having to discount it. But that's great. That's great. And so let me ask you, what is the need for the services and the things that you're trying to provide for in Together Saving Paws. Well, tell us a little bit about what the need is.
Sure. So as you stated, I've always wanted to help animals. I've been an animal lover since I was a child. I actually wanted to open a no-kill shelter, and that was always a dream. But then when reality set in of the cost, getting the building, the vet, I mean, there's no way that was going to happen right now.
Sure.
So this was the next best thing, was to start Together Saving Paws, my 501c3. And for me, I'm focusing on a couple key areas, as you mentioned at the beginning. One of them is I'm a huge law enforcement supporter. I think our law enforcement, they're everything. So I wanted to be able to protect the dogs. And unfortunately, in the industry, a lot of people don't realize, but in the law enforcement industry, when the budget is not big, especially in smaller towns, cities, the first thing that they cut is the Ballistics bulletproof vest for the canines. That goes right out. And those dogs are the lifeline to their handlers. I mean, they're going in full force into dangerous situations to protect their handler, going after the bad guys, bad women out there, and they have no protection. So I look at them as they're just as important as the human police officer. They are police officers. So I wanted to be able to make sure I provide a ballistic vest to any canine and any law enforcement across the country. I've actually negotiated with the ballistics company to get those vests down to 500. They can range anywhere from 1,500 up to 2,500. And I've got them down because of my negotiation and nonprofit down to $500 a vest. It's actually $520 with shipping. So that's a huge discounted deal to be able to provide these for law enforcement canines.
Okay. So when these dogs go in, and do you have any data in terms of how many dogs are injured in terms of sniffing out explosive devices and those type of things? So, how prevalent of a problem is this, and where dogs get injured?
Well, dogs get injured all the time. I don't know the numbers, the facts. I'm not going to just throw something out there. But I can tell you, with police departments, like your big police departments, like, Scottsdale or Phoenix or Las Vegas Metro, those are going to typically have the vests. It's going to be your smaller county type that don't. And they're daily facing danger, and they're daily in positions where they have to do, search warrants, or, pull perpetrators over, and, somebody goes running and they're going to release the canine. And if there's no protection, it's not even just protection about the bullets that can hit them. It's being punched, like in the ribs. It's being stabbed. So these ballistic vests cover more than just a bullet, because they can be injured in so many different ways. When a police officer goes into work every day, they strap on that bulletproof vest for protection. The dog will get the same. And so my mission is to help every single one out there, because they're a huge factor in bringing down a lot of bad people. And then with the other part, with Operation Underground Railroad, which is another nonprofit that I partnered up with, they are battling against human trafficking as well, is working with their police, or not police canines, but their department where they sniff out electronic storage devices. So there's actually, and a lot of people don't know this, there's a chemical in laptops, cell phones, any type of electronic device, computer, that has a chemical that keeps it from overheating. So these dogs are trained to sniff out that chemical. And when there's a warrant, they'll sniff out that chemical, find the hidden cell phone, and they can find the pornography and the children and that type of stuff. So a lot of people are taken down that way. So protecting those dogs as well with Operation Underground Railroad has been another mission, to make sure that those dogs are protected if the handler chooses to get those.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people may not know, though a lot of people do know. Can you tell us a little bit about Operation Underground Railroad and what it does, and who's part of that organization?
So Tim Ballard is the founding CEO of that. You can Google him. You can Google Operation Underground Railroad. I think they started in 2013, but don't quote me. I think that's when he went official. They're U.S. and out of the U.S. and their mission is to go get the people that are trafficking children and women into sex trafficking and human trafficking. So they're a huge part. My heart goes. I heard from them in a mastermind group, and I heard from Tim directly, and I was like, I need to help them, because what they're doing is incredible. So I was trying to figure out how Together Saving Paws could team up with them. So we're also working with them in the aftercare program, and I can share a little bit about that as well.
Sure. Now let's kind of talk about now. Operation Underground Railroad works both in the United States and internationally. And my understanding is that internationally they actually work with local authorities
Yes.
to make sure everything's done properly in terms
Correct.
of any kind of interventions. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, or?
That would be something you probably have to go learn from them. What I'm teaming up with them and partnering with them is more on the dog part of it and the aftercare part. So I don't want to speak out if what I'm saying is wrong, but yes, you can look up Operation Underground Railroad. They're phenomenal. That's why I wanted to partner up and team up with them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, so what is it outside just the sniffing out computers and electronic devices? In what did the dogs do in Operation Underground Railroad?
That's what they do. So that's what their sole job is to do. So, if there's a warrant, they're going to go in, they're going to sniff it out. Sometimes they find them hidden behind walls, they find them in ceilings, they can find them anywhere. So they can find that chemical and sniff that out and help take down the bad people.
So there's lots of people. It's actually it's a bigger problem than most people don't realize.
Yeah, it's sad.
And one of the things that Lena and I discussed was the fact that a lot of times these people are being held against their will, and it can be in a house next door in your neighborhood, even the nice neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. You don't know. The friend down the street could be one of the creeps. You don't know, and it's disgusting and it's sad. And so I wanted to see how we could help with that. And so we're also working with the aftercare program when a survivor is rescued, whether that's a woman or a child. Working with another young lady here in the Phoenix area. So we're rescuing dogs. She's evaluating them because that's not my area of expertise. Sure. And if it seems like they might be a fit, she actually trains dogs to become emotional support animals. So right now we have a dog named Callie who is being trained as we speak. And she's going to be given to a survivor from human trafficking as like a emotional support animal. So the dog's being rescued, but it's also helping that person, cope with things.
So why are support animals helpful to people that have been through trauma like that?
It's unconditional love. It's that they feel like they can talk to them about things that they can't talk to. People talk to dogs. I was one of them. So there's people that will talk to their animals, and this gives them that love, that unconditional, that security of knowing that they're never going to be hurt again. It's something that bonds them. It's a huge thing, just like PTSD. People with therapy dogs, especially vets that come out of the war, and police officers who've experienced stuff, or just people in general that have had life abuse situations. It is a huge factor, and it saves lives because they feel like there's something else besides what they went through. There's something else to care for, and that will care for them no matter what. Anybody who's had a dog knows you can go to the mailbox for 2 minutes, you come back and it's like you've been gone for 4 hours. So it's that unconditional love, and being able to rescue a dog that may have been euthanized or put down or was abandoned, and now we're saving that dog, training them, and now getting it with another person. It's saving a soul for another soul. It's a huge thing, and it's awesome.
Do you need accountability? Are you looking to change the course of your life but have failed to keep on track? Too often we take in information and fail to act. Do you need an accountability program to stay the course? Then go to www.thestandard.academy and find out about my accountability program that goes with my course that helps you find out what you want, why you want it, and how to get it. The accountability program keeps you on track to get results.
So what's the training process for a dog to become a comfort dog? What's the process involved?
So she has to, whoever goes out and evaluates, to make sure the dog, passes like food tests. They're going to stick their hand down in the food bowl and make sure they don't attack their hand. And, they evaluate to make sure that there's certain characteristics that dog is capable of being trained. And then once the dog goes into care, it depends on the dog. It could take 2 weeks, it could take 6 months. It really depends on the animal and how quickly they adapt. But they have to learn like eye contact and learning certain commands, without just running crazy, because you do have those dogs. So they have to learn certain commands. They have to learn eye contact. and know what to do and when to do and when to, so they're not therapy dogs, they're the emotional support. So they're more there when they can tell there's a sense of, okay, I need to not be energetic right now and cuddle up next to you and that type of thing. So, and it usually costs anywhere from $500 to $600, depending on the dog that we rescue, for vet bills, because we got to get them health checked, food. The young lady that's doing it is actually doing the training for free, but what I cover through Together Saving Paws is the food, the vet care, the adoption fees, all that good stuff, so we can then get the dog over to a survivor.
So, and you said it takes anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 months to train a dog.
Correct.
So typically, how many dogs? How many dogs do you guys train in a period of time?
Because we're brand new, and I just partnered with Operation Underground Railroad, like literally in the last 60 days. It's our first pup. So Callie's our first girl that we're doing, but our goal is to do at least 2 or 3 a month, because she can only handle so many, but I want to get more people in place.
Sure.
But the goal is to get 2 to 3 trained a month that we can then place with survivors. And right now we're keeping it within the US. But if we see that this does really well, then we're going to be able to partner outside of the US and help even the international survivors.
Okay. So what has been the reaction of some of the survivors that get a dog like this? Can you tell me about what they go through?
Yeah, so with the aftercare program, that's brand new for them to do this. However, they have started having a dog at the facility when the women and children are first rescued to greet them. And they said it has been like this overwhelming, just, you can see the release on their face. It almost brings that home comfort back to them, the reality that they have been rescued. And that's where we started to span, saying, okay, how can we actually get these dogs to their home so they can actually keep them in their home and not just when they're greeted right off. So that's where it's kind of a brand new thing that we're starting, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah. So you meant in the intro, I mentioned that you've always been in this space. What got you particularly interested in this particular? Because there's lots of people that use dogs for comfort, as comfort animals or sport animals. There's police officers, former military, things like that. Why did you pick this particular group of people to help?
With Operation Underground Railroad?
Right, yeah.
Without crying or anything, when Tim Ballard came to our mastermind and was sharing the stories and about these women and just hearing what they went through, and immediately we donated. I mean, my husband and I donated a significant amount of money right then and there. And it just touched my heart, because to think children as young as, who knows, 6, 7 years old that are going through hell, and these women who've been pulled from their lives, just being able to help them in any way, but also being able to help the animals. That was just, it was just something internally in me that said, it just clicked instantly. This is who I want to help, and this is where I want to go. So I dove in right away, was contacting them. How can I help you? How can we make this a partnership? And it was an ongoing process for a good probably 6 months, because I just kept going and going and going and seeing what we could do to get in there and help them out.
Yeah. It's kind of I know that one of the things that when I interviewed Lena about this is that what most people don't understand is that getting ensnarled in the sex trafficking is actually a death sentence, because most people, unless they're rescued by someone like Operation Underground, whatever, they actually die.
Yeah.
They actually die from whatever it is, being forced on drugs or just the constant abuse of their bodies or whatever. But they actually die. Yeah. They don't really it's not like they get released at some point. They actually die in that particular process.
It's sick. It's so, people don't realize how big of an issue it is. That's what's sad about all this, is it's talked about, but it's not really talked about anymore. You don't hear about it on the news. It's such a, I don't know, it's horrible.
Well, yeah, no, it is horrible. And part of it is the part of it, what makes it so horrible is that for very bad people, it's very lucrative. And what people may not know is that one person who has been abducted into the sex trade business is worth about $1 million a year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And that's like that's like when I heard that statistic, I was going, wow.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is. It's a lucrative business and that's what's so sad about it all. It's just,
It's a horrible business. It's an ugly business, and there's nothing about it that's nice.
Yeah.
So you said your organization is new, and so with what things are you looking to do to grow your organization? Because you mentioned that you want to be one of the go-to organizations in this space. So what are you looking to do in the near future and on a long-term basis to make your organization really grow and pop in this space?
Yeah. So one, being on podcasts like yours and talking about it, putting it out there, getting out there and getting in front of law enforcement, looking for volunteers. So if any of your listeners would love to volunteer, I'm looking for volunteers around the country that want to help make calls to local law enforcement in their area to see if they need the ballistic vest, to be able to help call vets and get workout deals. So if we need a vet in their area, we have one that we can contact right away to pay for vet bills, or work for, have trainers in place to be able to train dogs besides just here in Phoenix, to get to the survivors. So it's just getting out there, getting the word out, speaking as much as I can on platforms, anywhere I can. I'm doing a lot of stuff through social media. I'm actually starting to do some marketing SEO stuff, to be the one to say, hey, we want to team up, because they're not just helping Together Saving Paws, they're helping Operation Underground Railroad. So it's an all around win-win. And as of right now, and I don't plan to, but as of right now, no penny comes to me at all. I'm not taking a salary or anything at this point. So every single dollar that comes in Together Saving Paws goes out to the animals. So that's very important to me. And that's why I do the real estate. So I don't have to ever take a salary.
Sure. And so Kim, if somebody wanted to reach out to you and talk with you, or maybe donate to your thing, where would they do that?
So they can go directly to my website, which is just Together Saving Paws, and that's PAWS.org. Or they can contact me directly on my cell phone, which is 480-628-6419. And they can also email me at kim@togethersavingpaws.org.
Okay. All right. So plenty of opportunities. What, if you have a wish list of 3 things regarding Together Saving Paws, what's on your wish list?
My wish list is never, ever have to tell a police officer or a handler that wants a vest that we can't supply it. So making sure I have enough funds, which again, it's about $520 with shipping. So I always want to have that available. So if it's needed, I can order it right away. 2 is never having to say no to a survivor that we don't have the funds to train in emotional support. So keeping the funds available. And 3 is just to be the person that people want to donate to and feel like they're helping, and it's a good cause. So, but I guess the biggest thing is never to have to ever say no to anybody who's in need, or say no to an animal that's in need. I mean, we're also helping cats, and it's not just dogs.
Yeah. I don't think people realize what a big problem this is. Especially with sex trafficking. It's a monster problem, and unfortunately it's kind of become a way of life where people have gotten used to this being out there until they're faced with they actually see the images of the reality of things. So it's very, very sad. It's very, very sad.
It is.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, Kim, I want to thank you for coming on oldguytalkstome.com and appreciate it. And
I
again,
appreciate it.
And again, please tell us your website again.
It's togethersavingpaws.org.
Okay, and that's going to be in the program notes, folks. So just in case you need it, and so we'll also do that, and you can contact it. I believe there's a link on you to contact you.
Yes.
On your website. All right.
Sir.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right, Kim. Thank you very much.
This
is Orr's the official Old Guy at oldguytalkstome.com, a podcast dedicated to helping older guys create kick-ass lives for themselves and those that they love. Until next time, remember, work on creating that kick-ass life for yourself and those that you love. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining Dr. Orrist and his incredible guest. Like what you heard and learned? Then be sure to do 3 things. 1, subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. 2. Share this with someone who may need to hear it. 3. Leave a review and rate this podcast. Opt in at www.thestandard.academy/magazine and get our free digital magazine with savings, articles, and deeper dives into cool controversy. Be the guy who takes action. Without action, you're not going to get the results you want. Thank you again, and make it a great day.